Welcome back. Welcome back to Ace and OP. Thanks for joining us. And I kind of like the whole idea of prank phone calling our way into these episodes. And for those of you who don't know, the first episode that we did, my co-host had no idea that we are going to be having our first episode. But it's a nice way to kind of get going because we both don't really have our sea legs. So it's a nice little way to start the show. Just jump right into it. I don't really have any materials. So we're just going to call him, I guess, and see what the heck he's got going on. I missed a call from him earlier. So let's just call him back and just jump right into episode 2. Answer the phone. What's up, brother? What you doing?
Getting home from work.
All right on. How'd it go today?
Oh, I'm beat, man.
Oh, really? You sound worn pretty thin, bro.
I'm so fucking dead today. It's just so hot, man. Everything's just so hot that it's like being at the beach all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what you do. You can sit there and tan all day and you'll still come home dead, you know?
Yeah, even if you're having so much fun in the sun, it doesn't even matter. Like, you could be having the most fun in the world. It's if you're in the sun, like, by the end of the day, you're shot. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, that's how I am. But I'm also doing manual labor at the same time. So it's like
double trouble.
Yeah.
Double trouble. Yeah, Dustin was saying, Demo was saying that he's trying to get acclimated back to the sun, too, because, you know, he just got this job doing tree work. He's like, man, he's like, it's going to take a little while to get back into it, but that's just how it is, man. I don't know. And supposedly the sun is getting hotter, man. I don't really know. Or the earth is, global warming is what they say. But the same people that said that there was global warming back in the 70s, NASA said there was like global cooling going on too. So I got a faint idea that people really don't know what they're talking about.
I definitely can say the weather's changing, but I don't know about anything. I don't know about. Oh, buddy.
Wait, you're not a scientist?
I don't know, man. The planet could have seasons. Like, honestly, man. Like, one of the things that I saw this video the other day that was like debunking global warming, and it showed like it was like a montage of like multiple locations that have been historically recorded, you know, throughout the history of humanity. And basically all of them involved being near the shoreline of near the ocean. And the fact that some like for example, one of the biggest ones is I think in Russia or somewhere over there, somewhere in that part of the world. Dude, like 1200, like in the year like 1200 BC, whoever it was that was the people of that time created what's called sea baths. And basically what it is in the rock of the shore, they literally dug out giant square, rectangle shape chunks out of the rock. And literally that's where they used to bathe. And they would wait for the tide to come in, and it would fill them up. And then whenever the tide went out, you know, the people would go and bathe in these sea baths. And the fact that they're still visible today, even though that they've been around since 1200 BC or some shit like that, is pretty good proof that obviously if the ocean is rising, you know what I'm saying? Like if the ice caps are melting and the ocean is rising, you would think that you would not be able to see those. In 1,200 years, obviously, it hasn't raised a single fucking foot. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
at least in that part of the world, and I'm sure, like with global warming, Because I mean, we got a lot of technology since the '70s, and they said it was going to be global cooling. But I'm sure like the oceans probably rise at different levels, like all over the world. But you know, it's one of those things.
I don't think it can, bro. The ocean is one of those things, man, where it's like you're not gonna have. There's never a point where, you know, going from the Atlantic to the Pacific where you're like, all right, hold on, the Atlantic's a foot higher up than the Pacific. We're about to hit a bump. You know what I'm saying? It's all oceans are level, bro. It's like, you know, there's not one ocean that's like higher than the other. You know what I'm saying?
Are we sure? I have no idea. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I think that logical.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes
like,
very good sense.
I feel like you would know about it. Some fault line in the ocean where it's like, okay, the ocean is a foot taller here. You know, that would be like some shit you see all over YouTube, man.
Yeah, if you were on a boat and they were like, all right, hold on, guys. Hold on, we got a whole like 10-foot dip here. It's just like a wall that you just you fall down into the next section, the next section of the ocean.
We're entering the Pacific. Hold on.
Yeah, we're going to the Pacific. Hold on, everybody.
Dude, people would be out there on jet skis and shit, fucking hitting ramps and stuff.
Oh, it would be a sport. It would definitely be a sport for sure.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, it'd be wakeboarding. Now, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like when it comes back to like global warming, when it comes to like who's to say that the magnetism, because they say the magnetism's changing pretty slowly. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but who's to say all that's not connected? Just a way to kind of balance out.
Dude, honestly,
nonsense, like all this nonsense.
So you know a crazy theory about that I heard? What if the magnetic poles don't necessarily switch naturally? What if so there's a theory that
someone's doing it like artificially or something? Someone's like artificially changing?
There's a theory. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's a theory that originally the poles were swapped, and they only got changed because Earth was under basically a galactic alien war, and the aliens basically fucking completely wiped out the planet.
That's crazy.
That's a mad conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I subscribe to it, but it's one of those things where the guy that I heard it from actually brought some pretty decent receipts to the table. It was something like, look at this formation. This is what it looks like when a bomb is dropped. A very high-powered bomb is dropped, and then it was like, now there is now it shows you the bottom of the ocean under like the sonar, and it was like the same identical pattern. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then this is an anomaly that literally it's an anomaly to humanity, and you can look it up, but the very fact that it's not talked about, like me and you don't know this, just like common knowledge, and we're not taught about this city in school. I don't remember where in the world this is. I'm pretty sure it's like over in like Middle East or something like that. But there's a city, okay, where it's called I think it's called the City of Glass, where literally scientists have no idea what happened to this city, but you can still visit this city today, and the walls of the buildings are literally have been turned into glass, and there are still people in the streets completely disintegrated, like their bodies are almost crystallized, and it's almost like it's a tourist attraction. And you can go to this city and literally see people just living their life almost as if they were just living their life like Pompeii style, bro. And all of a sudden, boom, a fucking wall of what scientists can only assume was an immense something, you know, for you to turn like sand and concrete into glass, or sand and mud, because, you know, back in those days the buildings were made of like fucking mud and shit, you know what I'm saying? So for you to be able to turn that stuff into glass had to have temperatures exceeding, I can't remember the craziness, but it was like you have to have temperatures like 30,000 degrees or some shit like that, and it's like impossible.
I'm trying to find it. I put in the City of Glass, and all the came up was like this, like novel by a Claire novel, City of Glass. I can't find like the actual.
Oh yeah, all right, dude, look up city. Hold on, let me see if I can help you. City where people in buildings have been turned into glass. I'm gonna look that up.
In buildings are turned into glass. People in buildings. Okay. Video reveals mirrored skyscraper. Let's see. I'm trying to find it here. Ancient City of Ember. No, it's a movie. Let's see. Ancient City. Probably Ancient City. Gosh, why is like keywords so ridiculous? Like if you know the right keywords, you could just unlock anything.
I know.
Let's see.
It's like
Pompeii came up, but
it's
then
like
you
the whole
got the
conspiracy behind.
Let's see.
It's like the whole conspiracy behind the reason why they came out with the movie Frozen. Somebody?
Oh, really?
Wait, are you talking?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
That's crazy.
How did you get those like bamboo things?
Did you hear the conspiracy of why they made the movie Frozen?
No, what is it?
So before the movie Frozen came out, there was a lot of conspiracies about the fact that Walt Disney was actually just a frozen head that has, like basically Disney cryogenically froze his head and technically is still alive in cryogenic stasis. And it was at one point on Google, if you would have typed in fro, it was like the first Google that came up. The first suggested search was frozen Walt Disney. And so basically, or Walt Disney Frozen. Any way that you started typing, like if you started typing in Walt Disney, it was like Frozen was one of the first things that came up. And it was making people go down this conspiracy wormhole of, wow, maybe Walt Disney is frozen. Well, after they put out the movie Frozen, it's basically impossible to find any sites related to that now, because when you type in Frozen, the only thing that comes up is the movie Disney Frozen.
Yeah.
So it was like their way to artificially scrub that search from the website.
Interesting. So I found this one place. That's like there was one person's brain that was turned into glass. This is by the New York Times, and it said that it's long been debated. The prevailing hypothesis that their blood and brains were vaporized by the extreme heat of this like flow of heat. In another site in the city, some researchers proposed that at least one person's brain turned to glass. New evidence. Let's see. It was like Vesuvius eruption killed some of, I guess, like another eruption or something like that. Was it near another volcano? Is this the same place?
Oh, here it goes. Desert glass formed by ancient atomic bombs? ?
Oh, all right. Read that again. What is it?
It's
What's the title?
Desert glass formed by ancient atomic bombs? ?
All right, let's go.
I didn't click on the link. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like,
let's go. All right. So the mystery of the Libyan desert glass. Oh no, that's a different one. That's one where they were like wondering how the heck this there's like this crazy glass. It's pure silica and it requires these crazy temperatures. That's another interesting, really conspiracy that I heard about a while ago. I don't remember it, but we can hear ancientorigins.net. Desert glass.
Oh, here's one. Just new ancient 37 years ago.
You're rubber banding.
Claims.
You're rubber banding pretty bad. Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
It might be called just dark.
Of course, he cut out.
That's what's from. It was on an episode of Joe. He talked to that black Billy Carson. Billy Carson conspiracy. I'm fairly subscribing, like I said, but it's really interesting.
That is really interesting. Oh man.
Mo. All right, you ready? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're like in and out. Hold on one sec. Can you hear me now? Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you kind of.
All right,
I'm
cool.
just right now. It's probably good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here. O H E N or J E N O.
Dude, you are cutting out so bad, man. I can't hear anything that you're saying. It sucks. It really freaking sucks.
I can hear you fine, bro. Look, I'm just my ear.
Yeah. I found that city, that ancient city, but it's like oh no, it's not behind a paywall. It says that modern times let's see, Hindu texts describe an apocalyptic catastrophe that doesn't correlate with volcanic eruption or other known phenomenon. So, and this was, I guess, this was 7 years. This was okay. So 7 years after the nuclear tests in New Mexico, Oppenheimer, which is like the father of the atomic bomb, he was lecturing at a college when a student asked if the first atomic test was conducted. Yes, in modern times, he replied. And so that's kind of a weird way to answer that. Yes, the first test in modern times, atomic test. So this article goes on.
So,
oh, go ahead.
I found something, bro. All right, look. Oh, no, Darrow. This, I think the name of this. M-O-H-E-N-O.
Hey, let me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Say that one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna try to just call you right back.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I can't hear you. I'm gonna call you right back. Okay.
All right, bro.
All right, bye. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to just hold it down while his service kind of came back, but it wasn't really working. So, all right, stick around with us. I'm calling him right back, and then we're gonna jump right back into this. All right, let's go.
Are you better? Can you hear me better?
I can hear you perfect now. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's weird. All right, check it out, bro. I think I found a good. So it's called. I believe the city is called Mohenjo-Daro. All right, so look this up real fast.
I got it.
M-O-H.
Mohenjo-Daro.
You found it?
Yep. Yeah, that is this. Yes, I got it. I got it right here. All right.
So yeah.
Let's see here. All right, so it says that basically it's in Pakistan, I guess. Apparently, Google says it's closed, so there's no business being conducted there in the Mohenjo-Daro. And but let me look up Mohenjo-Daro conspiracy. Let's see if that comes up, because right now it's just like geographical.
So I don't know if you remember if you heard me say earlier, but the whole reason why I started this whole conspiracy started when Billy Carson, the scientist, went on the Joe Rogan Experience and brought this to his attention, and he had his dude look it up, and damn sure enough, it was like, oh shit, it's not actually just a fucking bullshit thing. And so the website that I'm looking up that is basically covering the podcast episode, which basically covers the whole topic of that.
So the website I'm looking at right now, it's from Penn University, Penn Museum. So it's a museum over there in Pennsylvania. So it seems fairly it's .museum. It's not .com. So it seems fairly so far so
legit.
Far so good. Yeah. And
it's not necessarily uncredible.
It is. Let's see. Scholars, laymen alike. It's a really long, wordy article. So it says that two major cities of the Harapans was destroyed by armed invaders, and that the hapless victims, including a large percentage of women and children, were massacred on the spot. The excavators contend at least first to put the blame for the massacres on several disassociated causes and incidents. The massacre idea immediately ignited and had been used to torch up to the present day by some historians, blah, 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 as an invasion. It seemingly provided a pat answer to one of the most vexing questions in South Asia history. So at first they just thought it was a massacre, basically. There was just like a whole bunch of people that were massacred. And then
so the article that I'm reading, it says,
go ahead.
Where is it? Basically it says, hold on.
So it was flooding too. Some people think there was flooding. And so there's like mixed. I'm trying to get an idea as to what the people, I can't find the description of what the people.
So I think I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't glass, but so that might have been what was throwing us off. But basically what Billy Carson says is that the city is littered with skeletons who contain abnormally high levels of radiation.
Okay.
Yeah, he also claims that this.
Yeah, it's because that goes back to what I was saying before. Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, was being lectured, and a student asked if the first atomic test was conducted, and he said yes in modern times, which is kind of a weird way to answer it. And then it kind of goes into there was this ancient text in Sanskrit that was referring to a passage in the, I'm going to butcher this name, but the Bhagavad Gita. It describes a global disaster caused by an unknown weapon, a ray of iron. And so this is like an ancient atomic bomb, apparently, according to ancientoranges.com. And it's the same thing as the Penn University or the Penn Museum thing, but it's just like a more conspiratorialized version of it, basically. Because it's still a mystery as of now, so everybody can kind of have their own theory, because it's not really like, so far it's technically, it couldn't be misinformation, because technically everyone's still trying to figure it out. It's a good thing about mysteries.
Oh, so no, I was right.
What's
so
that?
Billy Carson claims on the Joe Rogan Experience that there are bodies still sitting next to the edge of the steps, next to their own buildings that they lived in, and that the buildings had turned to glass. I thought I heard that.
So yes, and this is in the same, I believe. All right, so this goes into the very first thing that we were talking about, these silicone crystals that are like in the desert, that are like a mystery, like nobody knows how the glass got there. And these are the same fragments found after nuclear explosions in atomic testing sites, is these silicone crystals. So people are like, well, this could be like an ancient blast. These are the same crystals that the same silicone crystals we normally find after atomic testing. But I have also heard another crazy conspiracy having to do with the idea of where the silicone crystals came from. Because like I said, it still hasn't been solved. It's still a mystery. It's
still in the air, yeah.
I've heard flat earthers say that the crystals have something to do with like the firmament or something, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, bro.
You remember
that?
I remember hearing about.
Dude, so this is still conspiracy.
So this is still a mystery as to what these crystals are. Some people think it's a nuclear blast. Flat earthers think it's a firmament.
So the flat Earth conspiracy says that basically the firmament is made out of a very unique glass, and that over time, from humanity trying to shoot bombs at it and shit, trying to break the glass, they've never broken through it, but they possibly have knocked chips of the glass off. And so that those silicone glass things in the desert or whatever could potentially be chunks of the actual firmament.
Or how about this? Maybe it was both conspiracies wrapped up into one. Maybe it was like an ancient atomic test to break the firmament, and they accidentally bombed themselves. That's where
it just bounced off.
Yeah, we got a 2-for-1. We found the 2-for-1 conspiracy. I think we figured it out, man. I'm gonna write Joe. I'm gonna write Joe Rogan and let him know what he missed.
Joe, we figured it out, bro.
Yeah, we figured it out. That's so.
Oh, bro, did you hear about the newest Joe Rogan buzz?
No.
So
what's
Joe
that?
Rogan is Rogan is suing ABC News or I don't think ABC News is a thing, is it?
ABC.
It's one of the what's that?
Yeah, ABC.
NBC
There's,
or
there's
ABC or NBC.
There's NBC and ABC.
Okay, so I think it's ABC or either one. It's one of the bigger news outlets. But on a Joe Rogan podcast, Joe Rogan was talking to one of the people, one of his people on his podcast, and they were basically questioning him on what they thought about Kamala Harris being the president, and he was like, basically, screw that, man. I don't know if you've heard of I can't remember who the lady is, but there's a lady who is basically a spokesperson for she's like a conservative, she's like an ex-military veteran who has been to war multiple times. She's basically a badass bitch, bro. She's like legit badass bitch. She's been to war multiple times and she's fucking hot, bro. Like gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. And this chick is like a conservative spokesperson, and she's been like making conservative. She's like trying to destroy feminism, and basically fucking all sorts of good things for the community, in my opinion. And in the Joe Rogan episode, basically Joe Rogan goes to talk about how he would rather see this chick run for president because she's a legit badass. He was like, I think her name's Kelsey something. And he was like, legit, this chick is a badass.
Wait, are you talking about young global leader Tulsi Gabbard, part of the World Health Organization that parades around like a conservative? Is that who you're talking about, Tulsi Gabbard? She's not a politician. I
don't know.
She's not a. I think Tulsi Gabbard's not. She doesn't work for the news though, so probably not.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What happened with the news was, so Joe Rogan was talking about this chick. It might be the same person. I'm not sure, but we'll just use Kelsey as her name.
All right.
He was talking about Kelsey, saying how badass of a bitch she was. He was literally saying like, she's a legit badass bitch. She's been to war. She's done this. She's done that. She's a really good person. And I would vote for her if she ran for president over Kamala Harris any day. So what the news article did was they actually legitimately took his podcast and cut it in a way that sounded like he was promoting Harris. And then they put it on their fucking shit. And it's like literally like, look, even Joe Rogan promotes Kamala Harris. And literally the way they cut it in the experiment, in the actual episode, Joe Rogan's like, yeah, Kamala Harris, she's all right. But honestly, fuck that bitch. Basically, I would vote for Kelsey anyways, blah, blah, blah. And then the way they did it was they literally were like, they cut out all that in between. And so all Joe Rogan says is, Kamala Harris, oh, I would vote for her. She's a strong woman. She's been to war several times and blah, 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 blah. And so basically it sounds like he's promoting her. And ABC News actually posted it like, look, even Joe Rogan promotes Kamala Harris.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about that too is that like Kamala Harris has probably never been to war, and NBC or ABC still use that. It's like she's a strong white woman that went to war a bunch of times, and it's like, oh, wait, Kamala Harris isn't a white woman that never went to war, but NBC still used it.
So, bro, legit. Joe Rogan is suing NBC $30 million right now.
I actually just pulled that up. $30 million lawsuit. That's
pretty fucking. It's pretty fucking. If you ask me.
That's absolutely insane, dude. It reminds me of that episode. It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where they were like trying to make Homer look bad because there was like a babysitter and he like accidentally like there was something he accidentally like grabbed her and he didn't like mean to. He was like trying to, I don't remember the exact there was like a gummy or something basically that was stuck on her and he like grabbed her on accident. Basically the news was trying to make him look bad, so they did like an interview with him, and of course Homer was like, yeah dude, I'll do the interview, and they like cut it up to make him seem like he was like the worst person. But there was a clock. There was like a clock right behind him, and you could see the hands. And every single time they like cut the clip, it would like skip like 15 minutes. So you could clearly tell it was like all edited up. And then at the very end of it, they were like, the anchor was like, no, wait, Homer, no. And they just show like a freeze frame of Homer's face, like with this like, you know, like a ridiculous face to make it look like he was attacking the news anchor too at the very end of it.
Oh my God.
Yes. It was so stupid.
That's pretty funny though.
$30 million, man. That's a pretty impressive lawsuit. It's probably just like a tax write-off for NBC, honestly. Honestly, like during the time of election season and stuff like that, I feel like we're gonna start seeing way more of this type of stuff in the next like couple months, dude, for sure.
I have a feeling that this is gonna be pretty. I have a feeling that this is gonna have a couple effects. The first effect, I have a feeling, and I hope that it does. I hope this is gonna actually be good for the news in general. I feel like this is one of those things where Joe Rogan, being one of the biggest, not just one of, but the biggest podcaster in the world, and potentially one of the biggest celebrities in America right now. I feel like he's got such a cult following, bro, that him coming out and being like, because he actually went and had one of the, I don't think it was the CEO, but he had one of like the high up executives of whatever newscast came on, and basically had an interview with him after this happened. And he straight up called the dude out. He was like, yeah, what do you think about your people doing this to me? And he was like, well, you know, it's a kind of a misunderstanding. And Joe Rogan straight up like, no, bro, she straight up lied. And the dude's like, well, you know, so look, this is my take. And Joe Rogan is like straight up shutting this dude down. Like, no, bro, quit trying to blow smoke on my ass. She lied. It's bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about your person lying? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't actually watch the thing. So he's like, Jamie, pull it up. And you know how Joe Rogan goes. So like literally within seconds, Jamie's got the whole video of the news clip on his big screen. So they turn and watch it. And damn sure enough, the chick's like, you know, basically goes over the whole thing. And it's like,
wait, hold on. Did they actually show the news clip? Because normally he won't show it for like copyright purposes. But I wonder, did he actually show the video because he's going to sue them?
Yeah, he showed it.
Dude, I'm sure, because normally he doesn't do that. So I bet you, since his lawyers already knew he was going to sue him, he probably got that down in case they probably tried to pull the video or something. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that.
Yeah, they did. They immediately took the video down.
Yeah.
NBC or whatever.
That's why he recorded it on air. That's crazy. That's
yeah. So like literally, and after he does it, you know, after he plays the clip, he's like, "So what do you think now? Do you think she was accidentally fudging or lying?" And you can see the guy's like, no, honestly, that was kind of messed up. I don't think she should have done that. And he was like, yeah. Holds his arms up like, I fucking told you, dude.
Hey, so what do you think about this, man? So this just recently came out over the last, I think, over the last less than a month. It's maybe been about a month, probably. Less than a month. But because it came out that people were like, oh, Donald Trump's Jewish. So people were like, no, he's not Jewish, he's Christian. But he had this speech where he was like, oh, my beautiful Christians, I'm not Christian, but my beautiful Christians, or he said something along the lines of that, and everyone's like, oh, see, he's actually Jewish, and that was like kind of news. But what people didn't like, there was some news that actually caught this, but he said some pretty controversial stuff during that time, and he said, quote, you won't have to vote anymore, quote. He basically said, like, we're gonna fix it, so you're not gonna have to, and he like repeated it over and over again, like, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. That's literally quote, end quote. I'm actually reading it right now. And he like said this over and over again. And then that's when he said, my beautiful Christians, I'm not Christian, but my beautiful, and then he like said it over and over again. So that's kind of a very strange, I don't even know what else somebody could possibly mean by that, bro, to be honest with you.
Well, honestly, bro, to me, that gives me there's only 2 options. Either A, he plans on doing what all the liberal people say and, you know, being a dictator, and there is going to be no presidency anymore. Or he's knowing something about the apocalypse and basically saying, within the next 4 years, fucking the apocalypse is happening, and we're not going to even have another vote. You know what I'm saying?
Some sort of like predictive programming. Since he was the president, he has some sort of top secret clearance to like some crazy global, you know, catastrophe or something he knows about. He's kind of letting every like some Easter egg or something. You think?
I don't know, man. Honestly, the fact that he's saying he's not Christian openly kind of throws a monkey wrench in that a little bit, because it's like, what is he, the fucking Antichrist, like everyone says? You know what I'm saying? Does he know?
Or one of the there's some people think he's Antichrist. Some people think the guy is the
one of the prophets,
the false prophets. So this is kind of because, you know, while we're on the whole thing of conspiracy, so I've been going down this the icebergs. Like the last like few days, I've been watching all the icebergs. I don't know if you do that or not. Do you? The icebergs?
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
Dude, I love it. YouTube, iceberg conspiracy theory, iceberg theories, and it just goes down a whole bunch of stuff. So I've been doing, I stopped on one. It was like a 4-hour, like the Mandela Effect, like a compilation of all like the newer ones, you know, because it's still going, not like the old ones where it's like Fruit Loops or you know what I mean, Jiffy or Skippy or whatever it is, you know. So like this one of them was first, since we're on the religious side, one of the first Mandela Effect I'll talk about is the, do you ever remember a part in the Bible that talks about dragons? Because some people don't remember there ever being a part in the Bible that talks about dragons other than Revelation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that doesn't even affect you. And then there's other people. There's one part of the Bible that says, for his name is jealous, and it's like God, something, he's a jealous God, for his name is jealous. Do you remember that in the Bible? I'm gonna pull it up really quick.
I don't, but that makes me wonder, because
and that's another Mandela effect that people are like, wait, I don't remember. And there's people that had like,
well, that's interesting, because it couldn't be, even if that's what it's spelt, it couldn't be a reference to the modern English word jealous, because J wasn't even invented. The letter J wasn't even invented until like the year, like I think it was like 300 BC.
So that's
or AD. I mean.
It was like there was no J. Yeah, there was no J, or it was like it wasn't the pronunciation. It was like a different pronunciation. It was like there was no Jesus.
Yeah, no, literally the letter J did not come around until after Jesus had already been dead.
Yeah, because it was Yeshua. It was Yeshua, right? His name was like, Jesus' name was Yeshua. Yeah. Okay. First, let me read the verse. So it's actually Exodus 34:14, and this is, I'm reading the King James version. So it says, "For thou shalt worship no other God," and then it's a colon, "for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." So it would honestly...
I do remember that.
So there had to have been another word. If J wasn't invented, so whatever, just like Jesus' name was Yeshua, that means that there had to have been another word that wasn't the word jealous as we know it today. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, don't worship another God because he... Like, you know, there had just had to have been something, because like it only makes sense if.
Well, dude, something that I noticed. Honestly, you saying that remind me that I actually did read that one time myself, so I do remember that.
If the letter, so the letter J wasn't invented until 1600. So yeah, so
that's what I thought, bro.
1600 AD. That's according to this core of. I mean, I'm not like, you know.
That's literally close to. That's close. That's literally. That means that letter was created closer to our lifetime than Jesus is. You know what I'm saying?
which means there had to have been another word, honestly.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say was, honestly, my theory for this. Actually, I'm getting distracted. So one thing that I noticed about in the Bible was the Bible several times throughout the scriptures, God is referred to as different things. Like, and one part of the Bible, God is referred to as the Lord of hosts. And then in another part, he's considered the Lord of patience or something like that. And then in another one, it's like the Lord of this and the Lord of that. And they give him several different names. And I always thought that was weird, because I'm like, the Lord of hosts, what, like that one right there sticks out to me. I'm like, that kind of seems sketchy, bro. Like the Lord of hosts, what are you hosting, bro? Like,
yeah, it seems like
that seems to me like
a ritual, like, because that's normally what they,
bro,
the Lord of ceremony.
That seems like to me like possession or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just a host for his body, basically, or you know what I'm saying? So then I started thinking about it, and in the book of Revelation, it refers to the 7 spirits of God. And I know this, I know it, like, if you break it down, the 7 spirits are references to the 7 churches of Asia. It's like, you know, there's 7 candles and 7 lights, and the 7 candles represent the 7 churches of Asia, and the 7 candles represent the angels that are pointed to those churches. But what if God, just in the same way, if okay, this goes into the Trinitarian aspect here. What if in the same way, if God is Jesus and he has the ability to just split himself into other entities, and each of those other entities had the ability to be their own conscious being while at the same time being God himself? What if God literally had the ability to separate himself into aspects?
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? That way.
So like just his so like let's say the funny side of God, like his personality and like the people person side of God could break off into like one person, and then like the other side that's like the yeah, I see what you're saying there. I see where you're going.
Yeah. So I was saying, like, you know, because honestly, man, one thing that I this isn't even a conspiracy, or I think people are doing this, is absolutely certain. One thing that people inherently do, by literally, it's like subconscious, we can't help but to do it, is we tend to forget that we're trying to understand something that is borderline understandable. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you were sitting there chilling and all of a sudden you hear a great voice behind you, literally a being of light, which would be an angel. And he's like, God has chosen you to be one of his messengers. Write down what I tell you right now. I was assuming you'd be like, oh my God, okay. And, you know, you grab out your pen and you start writing, and basically this angel starts describing you things, or maybe he even gives you a vision, you know, like literally just puts his hand on your shoulder, and all of a sudden you see this image, and you see an image of infinity. How would you explain that? How would you write that down?
Describe that? Yeah, how do you describe, like,
so you're going to do your best. You're going to try to write it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
how would you even describe that? How would you even tell? How would would believe you? Like, if you're like, bro, I swear I just got visited by God, or I'm almost positive it had to have been, and he showed me infinity. People would be like,
I understand what infinity is. What is it?
I just can't even.
Just trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't even know what to say.
It's one of those you had to be there kind of moments. I swear to God, So I guess jealous, I'm looking at it here. Jealous originally meant protective, as a husband might feel towards his wife.
And now that makes sense.
Eventually, in the modern usage, jealous means envious. So how did that change? So, and then somebody came up here. It's, of course, on Reddit, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know, but somebody had this huge etymology, like 14th century, the old French, blah, 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 and zeal, and the Greeks, and this and that. And I'm not I'm not an etymologist, but it sounds legit, right? I mean, if they didn't have J, it had to have been something else. So, I mean, who knows? Until we find another theory, I'm going to put my eggs in that basket, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, so jealousy isn't a sin, right? It's the sin, like you said, envy or lust. So I feel like if you know, it's, to me, I always fall back. I know this is a lame excuse to be able to fall back on, but it's kind of like one of those things, man. We're dealing with an infallible being who's able to put these clauses and everything. But if the Bible only potentially has 1,000 truths and 10,000 lies, then that could just be one of those areas that are, if Satan can't destroy the original truths, he can only add to it to confuse people, then that could very well be one of those things that he possibly added also.
Yeah, for sure, man. And when I come to stuff like this, like even after reading this, I know I said, well, I'll put my eggs in this basket just as like a joke. But honestly, man, I still always reserve my judgment, because it's one of those, honestly, at the end of the day, who's to say that wasn't exactly what he was, even though they might have had another word literally meant jealous.
So, bro,
start with a J.
Think about it like this.
What's that?
Think about it like this, bro. Like, if I claimed, like if I was Satan and you believed in God being this infallible being and he can't make a mistake, And then all of a sudden I was able to be like, oh yeah, well, I know God personally. Oh, really? What is he like? He's jealous. And then you were like, oh, hold up, man. That actually contradicts his infallibility.
Yeah.
Now there's a contradiction. Now I'm questioning if God is even real. You know what I'm saying? All because I made a claim about him that's not real. It's going to make you question the real God. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, and honestly, a lot of people, and unfortunately, man, because it's one of those things, like, I like to keep an objective view on everything, even spirituality, man. I always keep an objective view no matter how I do any sort of research. And unfortunately, you see a lot of people that will take things like this, people that never aren't really spiritual people, and not just religious people, not just Christians, but people that generally aren't really spiritually, really, they don't think that they believe in that. Well, yeah, if it's there's no, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh, there's no such thing as coincidence, everything has some sort of meaning. Well, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something. And then there's some people that are just like, nope, they don't know that there's only blackness when you die, except they are so sure that there's just blackness when you die, nothing in the world means anything, and they're so stuck in this one-dimensional worldview because they'll use these verses as ammunition. They've never explored spirituality, but they'll say, look, why would you have a jealous God? Look at this verse here. It says that God, you know what I'm saying? So they use these same type little instances to kind of dog not just on organized religion, but kind of what spiritually as a whole, which is kind of dangerous, man. Like at the end of the day,
bro. So kind of going off onto an ADHD rabbit hole here. All right, bro. Not off topic, or not completely on topic, but not off topic at the same time. So you know how sometimes like when someone says something, your mind kind of just can have a spiral of, it's like a combustion, a chain reaction of combustion thoughts. It's like one thought leads to another, and then
dude, I heard you say whoa, and I was like, oh man, he fucking figured some shit out. He figured something out.
So check this out. Okay, if people claim that when you die, all that's there is blackness, okay, dude, if you do not exist anymore, how is it that you're still able to perceive blackness?
Well, the argument is, I'll just say the argument. The argument is that you don't remember what happened before you were born. So the argument is that you came from their blackness, whatever it is. You might not, maybe it's not blackness, but you know what I'm saying, not remember. So maybe.
No, but I've heard that before.
What's that?
I've heard that before, bro. I've actually heard, because I did my fair share I do my fair share of equal research. So like, if I'm like, yeah, you know what? Google proof of God. Right. And then I'll sit there and spend a couple hours on there. I'm going to at least spend 20, 30 minutes Googling proof that God does not exist, just to see what they have So like I've seen in videos where people are like, proof that God didn't exist. Oh man, I died. And this guy got into a car accident and he was announced dead for 6 hours. And when they brought him back to life, he shares his experience. And he's like, literally, afterlife is just nothing. Like literally it's just cold darkness. And it's kind of like, I've heard that before. And it's kind of like one of those things. If death is cold and darkness, what part of you
is sensing darkness,
is experiencing that?
Yeah. Like nothing.
That doesn't, dude, that's pretty deep, bro. That's like mind blowing me right now.
Here's the thing. I feel like nobody can really have no one can really make a decision on what happens afterward if we don't even really know what consciousness is. Like, we don't know at what point does our brain, the gray matter, become who we are and our experiences and really become more than just, and we don't really know exactly what that is beyond some people saying it has all to do with spirituality and some people saying it has all to do with just gray matter and brain matter. There's no either side has a definitive answer, really, that's complete. Yeah. So until then, atheists can't say, or whoever can't say, this is for sure what it is. All you can do is act accordingly. Okay? You think that life has a meaning, you better act accordingly, bro. If you think that nothing means nothing, act accordingly, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's up to us and our free will to decide. So it's kind of, when we can't humble ourselves to other people's opinions, that's what kind of makes spirituality and not spiritual, having no spirituality, kind of toxic. You know what I'm saying? Because there are very toxic religious people and there are very toxic atheist people at the same time. So it's kind of like, at the end of the day, I just reserve my judgment, man. I like to think that everything matters, because I've been in so many situations where I was like, there's no way that was a coincidence. Like, the odds are just
for sure,
so ridiculous. And that to me puts me in the camp on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I don't, that's kind of why I lean there. But everybody's got their own opinion, man. I don't know. To each their own, I suppose.
Damn, you just broke up, bro. I didn't hear a single word you said. What was the last that you said? Yeah, I'm not kidding you, bro. You were like, and that's kind of why I was saying. That's kind of why you what, bro? What was it that you were saying?
That's kind of why I lean more on the other side of the camp.
Dude, honestly, you just told me dinner's ready. If you're down, let me call you later.
Yeah, do that, man. Honestly, this is our second episode, man. I'll just let you know.
Yes, bro. I was so hoping that you did that. I didn't want to, like, literally, I was thinking about it halfway through. I was like, man, I hope he's been recording this and just didn't tell me, because we've covered such good stuff.
I want to show you this promo, man. Did you have a chance to check it out? Because I'm going to play it.
I haven't yet.
You haven't? All right, well, then I'm perfect. I'm just going to play it on air.
Ace and OP, your go-to podcast for everything from entertainment and technology to juicy conspiracies like the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs.
But to be honest, if I was at a party and some dude was like, hey, bro, I'm going on a private jet, bro, you want to come? Like, my stupid ass would have been on that flight log too. You know what I'm saying?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Ace and OP, bringing engaging perspectives in their action-packed program.
Hold on, I'm actually trying to get this motor going real fast. There we go.
Ace and OP, navigating a wide range of deeply profound, thought-provoking topics.
Imagine if babies just ate other babies and you had to, like, be careful about bringing your baby places because it just eat other babies.
Oh,
Join Ace and OP each week, and don't forget to check out their signature merchandise and special products.
So, for example, one of the products that we use is a natural bacteria that grows in the soil. And it's really cool, man. The bacteria that grows in the soil, what that does is it ruptures the gut. And then another product that we use is a literal growth hormone that the mosquito larvae creates. It's basically like cat litter.
Such amazing products. Join Ace and OP each week, anywhere that you get your podcasts.